welcome to another episode of Ramailo Guff. Ramailo Guff ma चाहिँ हामी विभिन्न पर्सनालिटिजहरूलाई बोलाउने गर्दछौँ so that you guys can get inspired as well as entertained. This program is supported by King's Talk Show, Redmond Coffee and Tranquility Spa. आज हामीसँग हुनुहुन्छ CEO of Mega Bank, Mr. Anil Shah. Anil sir, welcome to the show.
Namaste. Great to be here.
Thank you. So how is your life going on?
Life is hectic like everybody else's. Shortage of everything makes more worries than needed, more tension than required. But now things are settling down, the sun is out, it's a lovely day, and I'm here in your program, so things are looking good.
Okay, so sir, just a matter of curiosity for me. How were you as a child? त्यो 7 वर्षदेखि 14 वर्षको अन्तरालमा चाहिँ हजुर कस्तो हुनुहुन्थ्यो?
मेरो चाइल्डहुड अरूको भन्दा अलिक फरक थियो. मेरो मुवा पनि काम गरिबक्सिन् थियो परराष्ट्र मन्त्रालयमा र मेरो बुवा युनाइटेड नेसन्स WHO मा 2-3 वर्ष हरेक 2-3 वर्षमा हाम्रो स्कुलको परिवर्तन हुन्थ्यो. We used to go from one school, one country, one city to another, me and my younger brother. So त्यो कारणले गर्दाखेरि initially it was very challenging because every 2.5-3 years to be picked up, to be taken to a different environment, new friends, new colleagues, new teachers, new system, that's what we got used to it. So I think because of the foundation of change that was laid in those years, formative years of mine, अहिले पनि परिवर्तनको लागि म अलिकति I'm addicted to change. I need change. धेरै 3-4 वर्षसम्म change भएन भनेदेखि I get bored. So I think those years for me would, if you one word to describe it, is change. Everything used to change 2.5-3 years, and while sometimes we loved the change, sometimes we didn't, but whatever it was, good, bad or ugly, it made me who I am today.
Okay, sir, हजुरको जब एजुकेसनको कुरा गर्दाखेरि I found your schooling days really interesting. You changed your school for 7 times. Why is that?
Because अब मुवा कहिलेकाहीँ मुवासँग बस्ने, मुवाको ट्रान्सफर हुन्थ्यो, बुवा कहाँ गएर बस्ने. स्कुलको चेन्ज भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ अलिक ठुलो भएपछि चेन्ज गर्दा अलिक सजिलो हुन्छ जस्तो लाग्छ. When you're in school and you change, all your friends change, your teachers change, the environment changes. It's quite difficult at times. त्यही भएर म भन्छु नि, whenever I talk to the youth, if you look for excuses, you can find excuses everywhere. Every coin has two sides. आज म या मेरो भाइ, if we were total alcoholics or into drugs and laying on the street somewhere, people would say, what to do? Look at them in their childhood. Every 2.5-3 years they used to change schools. There was no स्थिरता नै थिएन. बचपनमा यस्तो भएपछि बिचाराहरू यस्तै त हुन्छ नि. But we both took change as something positive. We looked at the other side of the coin. So it is quite interesting when I look back at it. At that point of time it may not have been that interesting or that wow. तर अहिले हेर्दाखेरि चाहिँ I feel I'm very blessed because of the hard work of my parents, that I got to go to so many different schools, experience so many different cultures, and I think that made me the sort of global person that I am today.
Okay. Sir, अहिले हजुरलाई हेर्दाखेरि I really feel that you are a very disciplined student, very smart and intelligent. But is there any funny moment in your school days?
I think my whole school days can be taken as a funny moment. I was not a very good student. That's what I like to tell people. Being a very good student is a very big advantage. But just because if you're not the topper in the class and you're not getting distinction all the time, doesn't mean you have to give up and say that I can't do anything. I was an average, slightly above average student maybe. I used to enjoy having fun. I used to enjoy going out, watching movies. At that time, video games had just come. So there were video arcades. You used to have to go put money and play video games, that sort of thing. Having falling in what we call puppy love with young girls and young girls falling in puppy love with yourself, going out on movie dates, all these sorts of things were wonderful. It was a wonderful part of growing up, I think. As long as you know your limits and you know what you should do and what you shouldn't do, I think you should experience life and enjoy your childhood, because once you grow up, it's all hard work. So when you're in school or when you're in college, that's the time you should enjoy, I think.
Isn't there any particular moment that you will remember today? Oh, I also did this.
Well, there are too many moments, but I don't think I should share them in the interview because it may set not too good examples. But I think like all young people, you run away from classes from time to time, you go and see movies, you stay out too late and try to crawl back into the house without your parents knowing. I've done all those things, While it came to smoking and drinking and all, I think, my parents used to smoke and drink. I don't smoke or drink. It was because I think it was freely available. I never had to hide. They used to say, if you want to drink, have a drink, no problem, have it with us, don't hide it behind our backs. But the taste of beer and whiskey is much worse than Coca-Cola, I think. So I stuck to Coca-Cola and fruit juice, maybe because of that. But I was a normal child. I would hope I was a normal child, and being a normal child, I think, did all the naughty things that a normal child should do. And I hope that the youth of today also do those things, because that's part of growing up. मलाई चाहिँ डर कहाँ लाग्छ भनेदेखि बचपनामा चाहिँ केही पनि नगर्ने एकदम शान्त शुद्ध मान्छे हुने अनि त्यसपछि बुढापा भएपछि चाहिँ अनि सबै त्यो नटी चिजहरू गर्न लागेपछि चाहिँ अनि प्रब्लम हुन्छ जस्तो लाग्छ सबै चिजको एउटा समय हुन्छ त्यो समयमा चाहिँ त्यही ठिक चिज गर्यो भनेदेखि चाहिँ आई थिङ्क इफ यु डु इट एट द राइट टाइम इट बी गुड
सर वेल टकिङ अबाउट यर हायर एजुकेसन मलाई लाग्छ कि पहिला चाहिँ त्यस्तो ट्रेन्ड थिएन होला स्टुडेन्टहरू बाहिर गएर पढ्ने भनेर बट यु स्टडिड इन दिल्ली युनिभर्सिटी एन्ड जर्ज वासिङटन वाइ इज द्याट
I think not a lot of people know, but my grandfather, my mother's father, was the first Nepali ever to go and study in America. Okay. He went to Michigan University and he studied hydro engineering and came back and built the first hydro project in Nepal. My mother was the first Nepali woman to go to America and do her bachelor's and master's in Barnard and Johns Hopkins. So for me and my brother, I think it was pretty much fated that at some point of time we would go to America. My parents both met while they were studying in university in America. My mother was in Johns Hopkins in Washington DC, and my father was doing medicine in Johns Hopkins in Baltimore. They met and fell in love in the US. So the US has a, from the 1950s, 1930s in fact, we've been studying in the US. So I think going to the US was quite natural. But then coming back after doing my bachelor's, because I was only 16 when I went to do my bachelor's and I was 20 when I graduated. So my international student advisor said, why are you rushing through life? Only death waits you at the end. Go back, get some training, work some. So I came back and worked in EC mode. And then my mother got posted as the first woman ambassador of Nepal, and that too to India. And so I thought, do I want to go back to America to do my MBA, do my dishes, cook my food, clean the bathroom, or do I want to try in Delhi and see if I can, study in Delhi? I got into FMS in Delhi University, and that's why I went to Delhi to do my MBA, which I think was very good because the case studies, the relevance of all that we studied to South Asia and to the Nepali context may have been slightly more than doing it in America. And also it pretty much assured that I would continue living and working in Nepal, which is what I wanted to do all the time.
Okay. Sir, हामी युथहरूलाई करियर चुज गर्न अति नै गाह्रो हुन्छ because we really don't know what we want from our life. Even you are also passionate about photography, but then why you choose to be a banker?
I think that's a wonderful question because the times have changed from when I was your age and now. When I was your age, it was pretty much कहिले काहीँ इन्जिनियर सबैजना बन्नुपर्ने कहिले म्यानेजमेन्ट पढ्नुपर्ने कहिले सबै डक्टर बन्नुपर्ने त्यो एउटा ल चर्थ्यो सबैजना whether you had the strengths in that or not, you used to run for it. Maybe if I was your age now, I'd be a photographer. At that point of time, I never even consider it. पढ्नुपर्छ म्यानेजमेन्ट पढ्ने कि साइन्स पढ्ने कि के पढ्ने, and then I wanted to study management, so I went into study management. But today's youth, I would say, don't do that. Listen to your parents, your guardians, your mentors, your colleagues, friends, but decide for yourself because it is your life at the end of the day. And to do that decision, I have this thing called the happiness formula.
Yeah.
Everyone has a unique happiness formula. You need to find out what your happiness formula is. And there are 5 ingredients that go into that. One is family and friends. How important are they to you? One is money and economic wealth. How much do you need money to be happy? Third is power, authority, and social status. The fourth is health, to be healthy, not to be unhealthy, but to be healthy. And the fifth is self-actualization, your relationship with God, meditation, so on and so forth. You need to find out how much of each of these. यो पाँचवटा तत्त्वको यहाँलाई कति चाहिन्छ, कुन मात्रामा कति चाहिन्छ खुसी हुनलाई. बढी पैसा चाहिन्छ, बढी परिवार र साथीभाइहरूसँग बस्नुपर्ने, बढी पावर चाहिन्छ कि के हो, त्यो मात्रा कति चाहिन्छ भनेर यहाँले थाहा पाउनु भएपछि then you know what you need to. That's the destination. Do I want to climb Mount Everest or do I want to climb Annapurna भन्ने? You need to know your destination first, and the happiness formula gives you the destination. After you know that, then you look inside yourself again and see what are my core competencies and my strengths. Some people are good in mathematics, some are good in marketing. पढ्दाखेरि पनि हैन. I have never met someone who is failing mathematics, so I ask अनि भाइ तिम्रो सबभन्दा फेभरेट सब्जेक्ट के भन्दा दाइ मलाई म्याथ मन पर्छ, पास हुन सक्दिन, but I love math. भनेर कसले पनि भन्दैन. What do you say? You love the subject that you're very good at doing. Life is exactly the same. You will love doing what you're good at doing, and you will always be good at doing what you love doing. Now if you think, what is that? It's a bit confusing. Think of Paras Khadga. The minute I said that, what did you think? You thought of cricket. Okay, think of now our young Navayug or Bimal Gharti. You think of football. You never think, why is Navayug not practicing cricket or Paras Khadga not practicing football? You laugh when you, even the thought of that makes you laugh. But what do? If you're weak in mathematics and good in marketing, you never take tuition in marketing. You will take tuition in mathematics, the weak subject, where you will become average maybe. And all your effort in that, the subject you are good at, also you will fall down and become average. It's just like if Paras Kharga tried to play football, he would maybe be an average football player. But his cricket would also suffer. In life, it's exactly the same. Find out what your strengths are, what your core competencies are, and go for it.
Okay, sir, I really wanted to ask you, जब म कुनै public events-हरुमा जान्छु, जहाँ हजुर हुनुहुन्छ, you always say there are 5 mantras for successful and happiness.
Yes.
So how did you discover these 5 mantras?
When I was studying in college,
Okay.
there was an old gentleman who came to give us a talk. Like I go and give talks to a lot of youth, although I'm not an old gentleman yet. And he was the one who said at that time that you may not believe what I say now, but as you journey through life, you will see the truth of the happiness formula. And he shared this happiness formula. And at that time, I just noted it down. But I thought, oh, come on. If I was that rich and that famous, then I would also think, this is my happiness formula. But as I went through life, I saw more and more merit in what he said. When you खुशी को formula भन्ने चीज एउटा बस स्टपमा उभिएर कहाँ जाने भनेको जस्तो बस स्टपमा उभिरहेको मान्छेलाई तपाईँ कुन बस खोज्नु भयो भने कहिले पनि नीलो बस रातो बस भन्दैन म पोखरा जाने बस या विराटनगर जाने बस. That is your happiness formula. We show you where you're supposed to go. Once you know that, you know the destination of life. I know so many people, एकदम धनी मान्छेहरू जुन चाहिँ हैन 85 वर्षको उहाँले भन्नुहुन्छ मेरो जिन्दगी त के भयो हैन पैसा त धेरै बनाए तर खुशी त म छैन है अहिले भए भनेर. And some people I know who have not much economic wealth. They don't have 2 houses, they don't have यति थुप्रो लाल पूर्जा and सुनु, but they are so happy because they walk down the path of life that made them happy. And those are the people who I look at and said मेरो जिन्दगी पनि त्यस्तो भएदेखि I will consider myself successful. And every birthday I do the numbers. I look at my happiness formula because happiness formula changes from time to time. And I look at where am I? And whenever the numbers change, then I try to see how I can change my life to continue to be happy.
Okay, so now you are in banking sector. You are the CEO of Mega Bank. मलाई सोध्न मन लागेको चाहिँ हजुर 25 वर्षदेखि यो ब्याङ्किङ क्षेत्रमा कार्यरत हुनुहुन्छ. And then how you manage everything also the day to day life मा आज म यो काम गर्छु मेरो अर्गनाइजेसनमा यस्तो कामहरु हुनुपर्छ भनेर कसरी म्यानेज गर्नुहुन्छ त्यो चाहिँ?
The first trick to managing institutions, teams, families even, or not families, friends, families you can choose, is you must get the right people. My philosophy for a long time has been हाम्रोलाई हैन राम्रोलाई प्राथमिकता. हाम्रोलाई भनेर मेरै जातको मान्छे, मेरै पोलिटिकल आइडियोलोजीको मान्छे, मेरै वर्गको मान्छे, मेरै नेपालको मेरै हैन गाउँबाट आएको मान्छेलाई मात्रै मैले ताने भनेदेखि उहाँहरूले आफ्नो काम त गर्न सक्नु हुँदैन. मेरो काम छोडेर मैले उहाँहरूको काम पनि गरिदिनुपर्छ. So the philosophy that I follow is I have been part of teams that have exceptional people, high performing teams. Once you have that, I'm here doing an interview, the bank is running perfectly well. I have a role to play. And that role to play is also through this interview. How, you may say, is one of the roles that I have to play is to make sure that the best talent in Nepal who's studying management, BBS, BBA, MBS, MBA, are attracted to Mega Bank. And one of the reasons people say, let's try Mega Bank, is Anil Keshary Shah, let's go and see how it is to work in a team with him. That's one of my roles as the CEO. Because my role is to bring the best people so that I continue to have one of the best financial institutions that there is. One thing I realized long time ago is there is no me, there is only us. There was institutions I've been part of, whether it's Standard Chartered, whether it's Nabil Bank, or whether it's Mega Bank now. They are what they are because of the teams that are there. I played my role, just like the guard played their role, the cleaner played their role, tellers, front office people, marketing, operations people, everyone plays their role. I play my role in the thing. But the minute I start to think it's because of me and only me that everything happens, whether it be in politics or in institutions, things go wrong. And then you get to feel this, what we call this God syndrome, that I am so special and I am like, without me, nothing will run. Then nothing will run with you also. Because the team will stop working, the team will stop functioning, and you will no longer have a high-performing team. If you have a good team, then you can make time for what you want. Everybody in the day has 24 hours. Obama has 24 hours, the person lying on the road has 24 hours. We must decide what we do with 24 hours. It's like money. People say, I don't have time to do this, I don't have time. It's not they don't have time. That thing, whatever they're saying, doesn't fall in their priority list. If it fell in the priority, they would be doing it. If we give everybody here 5,000 rupees, someone will go and have a good meal with it, someone will go and watch movies or whatever with it, someone will invest it, someone will put in a fixed deposit. It's the same 5,000 rupees, but everyone will do something different with it. Time is exactly the same. We all have 24 hours. What we do with those 24 hours depends on us. Some people choose to play golf. That's amazing. They're happy doing that. Some people choose to go to restaurants and have good meals. I choose to spend my time speaking to youth and trying to motivate youth and try to bring everybody together to make this wonderful nation of ours, as well as running this amazing bank with this amazing team. So, because that's where my priorities are, along with spending some time with family and friends, that's why I find time to do that. And people say, how come you do that? How can you find time to do that? Because I prioritize it. If you prioritize it, you find time to do anything you want.
Okay, sir, अर्को मलाई रियलिस्टिक क्वेसन सोध्न मन लागेको चाहिँ आइएम अ बिबिएस स्टुडेन्ट अनि मेरो सिनियर दादा दिदीहरूले चाहिँ के भन्नुहुन्छ भन्दाखेरि ब्याङ्कमा इन्टर्न गर्नुहुन्छ आफ्टर सर्टेन टाइम वाट दिस से इज मलाई ब्याङ्कमा कामै गर्न मन लागेन भनेर भन्नुहुन्छ एन्ड वाइ इज द्याट त्यो प्रब्लम चाहिँ किन आयो उहाँहरूको अनि हाउ you gotta motivate them? What do you have to say about them?
I think it comes back to the happiness formula. Working in a bank means your quotient for time with family and friends is very low. You don't want to spending time with family and friends doesn't make you happy. I mean, it doesn't add to your happiness formula. It may make you happy. Power, authority, money makes you happy. If that is the case, working in a bank will make you very happy. Coming in at 8:30, going home at 7:30, 8 at night, you're looking at your career, you're looking at your salary, your bonuses, you're looking at your promotion, it makes you very happy. But if that is not the case, you think बिहा वर्तमान पनि कहीँ जानु पाइँदैन हैन आएको छ काम गरे छ यो जोत्या जोतै छ यो केको लागि हो फ्यामिली फ्रेन्ड्स नहेरेकै कति भइसकेको छ हैन what is happening, then you will not be happy. That's why लैलै चाहिँ सबैले अब बीबीए गरेछ बीबीएस एमबीएस गरेको छ बैंक चाहिँ जोइन गर्ने फर्स्ट चोइस बैंक भनेर I say don't do that. Look inside yourself. Maybe you'll be much happier joining the media, starting some small company of yourself, starting a restaurant, doing something completely different. But it depends on you. What makes Anil Shah happy will not make you happy.
Yeah.
What makes you happy will not make him happy.
Yeah.
You must determine what makes you happy. It's just like I want to go to Pokhara, but you may want to go to Birta More. Neither are you wrong, nor am I wrong. We both want to go to different places, but if I'm forced to go to Birtamor, no matter how wonderful the journey is, I will not be happy because I wanted to go to Pokhara and go to Pewatal. So it's very critical that you first determine what you want to do before you jump into just opening a business or joining a bank or going to Australia or America. If that's what you want to do from inside, do it. All of us have a set number of years in this world, and even the wasting of one day is terrible. It's unexcusable, I think. किनभनेदेखि अब पैसाले धेरै चिज किन्न सकिन्छ तर जब माथि जाने बेला आउँछ म 1 करोड दिन्छु मलाई 1 महिना अर्को बाँच्न दियो भने पनि कसले सुन्नेवाला छैन त्यही भएर हरेक दिन जुन छ हाम्रो त्यो दिनको लागि चाहिँ you make the most of it. Do something that you're passionate about, that you love, that makes you happy, that makes you smile. It could be money, it could be power, it could be something completely different, spending time with your family, with your friends. But you determine what it is, not your parents, not people like me who come and talk to you, not your friends and colleagues. You determine what it is.
Apart from your professional life, मलाई चाहिँ you are a motivational speaker, youth icon, banking hero, and a celebrity as well. How do you balance these all things?
I think I must give an example that my father said. Once Standard Chartered taught me banking. I became a banker in Nabil Bank, where after with the team, the bank started to do well and it became the #1 bank. Then everybody started to take notice of Nabil Bank and of Anil Shah. And then slowly, Anil Shah became Anil Shah, and wherever you go, people started to recognize you and things like that. And my father said something to me. He said, Anil, now every year you should go to Delhi once or to somewhere in America. And I said, why? Because of the stress level and so on and so forth. He said, no, I think stress you deal with however you want. But now what is happening in your life is slowly, you're becoming larger than a normal human being. Wherever you go, people recognize you. Not only in banking circle, you go to a temple, someone recognizes you. You come to a restaurant, someone recognizes you. On the road, people are recognizing you. And slowly what happens to you is you start to feel that, wait a minute, I'm special. I'm not like normal people. I'm made special by God. God has touched me in a special way, and that's why I'm Anil Shah. And therefore, the normal rules of the game don't apply to me anymore. And when that happens, your feet start to leave the ground. And when your feet start to leave the ground, no matter how fast you run, you don't go anywhere. And far higher up you go, one day you will fall, and that will be such a fall that you will not be able to get off. So you must never never forget that you are just normal, like everybody else. And as long as you remember that, everything will be okay. I said, that's a wonderful advice, Dad, but you Delhi, America जाने चाहिँ कहाँबाट आए नि भन्दाखेरि मैले जति भने पनि तिमीलाई यो के हो भनेर तिमीले बुझ्दैनौ बिर्सिन्छौ हामी पनि मान्छे हौ जस्तो वाह 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 गर्ने भइरहेपछि चाहिँ मान्छेहरूले आफूलाई हुन्छ पोलिटिकल लिडर्समा देखिन्छ एक्टर्स एक्ट्रेसेसमा देखिन्छ सेलिब्रिटिज जस्तो टाइममा पनि देखिन्छ तर तिमी यहाँबाट दिल्ली जाऊ एकचोटि यहाँबाट जाँदाखेरि मान्छेले एयरपोर्टमा हेल्प गरिदिन्छ होइन प्लेनमा पनि मान्छेले चिन्छ सबैले चिनिरहेको हुन्छ दिल्लीमा ल्यान्ड भएर प्लेनबाट उत्रेपछि के हुन्छ कोहीले चिन्दैन त्यहाँ लाइनमा कोहीले आएर ओ अनिलजी यता आउनुहोस् यता अगाडि आउनुहोस् भनेर कोहीले भन्दैन आधा घन्टा इमिग्रेसनको लाइनमा गएर त्यहाँ ठ्याक्क उभिएपछि एकजना त्यहाँको इमिग्रेसन मान्छेले यसो माथि ओ बहादुर यहाँ हो भनेर भन्छ एन्ड यु लुक अराउन्ड कु बहादुर म त अनिल शाह एन्ड देन यु वक टु द इमिग्रेसन गाय एन्ड यु लुक्स एट यु थिङ्क पैसा तो है यहाँ ठहरने के लिए एन्ड यु वन्डर व्हाट इज ही टकिङ अबाउट आई एम अनिल शाह and you go out and you have to stand in line, get your baggage, lug it out, you stand in line for a taxi driver asks, "Kahan jana hai sahab?" And that's when you realize, with the heat of Delhi hitting you on the head, that you're not special. You're just like everybody else. The only thing that has made you Anil Shah is your hard work. Pasina bagayo, buddhi chalayo, त्यही भएर जहाँ छौ त्यहाँ छ जुन दिन पसिना बगाउनु रोक्छौ बुद्धि चलाउनु रोक्छौ र त्यो सान देखाएर टाउको मात्रै हल्लाएर हिँड्छौ तिमी फेरि वापस लाइनको अगाडि हैन लाइनको पछाडि पुग्छौ. And to do that reality check is very much necessary, and I truly believe that for everybody. I think I am who I am because when you call me, I am here for an interview. I don't say हैन म चाहिँ यो मिडियालाई मात्रै गर्छु तपाईको कति भ्युअरशिप छ तपाईको रिडरशिप कति छ हैन यो पत्रिकालाई त म गर्दिन तपाई त यो युवा पछि गर्नुस् न 4-5 वटा एपिसोड गर्नुस् 10-12 वटा गरिसकेपछि अनि आउनुस् न म त अनिल शाह नि बुझ्नु भएन तपाईले. If I say that, what will you think of me? You may not say it to my face, but a perception will form in your mind. The reason you called me is you said most probably he will come because he's that sort of a person. For me, the fact that I'm talking to you and you're listening to me is enough. Whether anybody listens to this or not doesn't really matter. Everyone who's standing here is listening to me. That's good enough for me because I'm just normal, just like you. I love this masala tea. I love this conversation. It's a wonderful day. It's a great event for me. So it's up to you to think about. And I'm not saying I'm right and others are wrong. Their happiness comes from that. My happiness comes from this. So that's what it is all about. Just now, before I came here, I was with this singer who I was saying Joss Stone. She's an American singer or British singer who's going to all countries in the world and singing, and she's doing a show over here. But I was with her with a Rinpoche, and we were at a prayer ceremony, and she was talking to the Rinpoche and all, and I thought, wow, look at this person, a global star. I mean, how many million people on Facebook likes and all. But when she comes to it, at the end of the day, she also wants to have peace. She wants to hear the words of this Rinpoche to find peace, just like me, just like you, just like anybody else. So it doesn't matter how many Facebook likes you have or friends you have or what your Twitter handle gets you and all that. At the end of the day, I think it's how happy you are inside. Whether your soul can smile when you close your eyes. That's what really matters.
Okay, sir, you are an inspiration to me, and lots of youth are they take you as an inspiration. But I want to ask you, what inspires you? Is there any incident or a particular individual that inspires you?
If you ask me, it's a very cliched answer I give, but it's the people of Nepal that inspire me. Okay, and I would like to just clarify what I mean by that. I am amongst, and so are all of you, amongst the most fortunate citizens of Nepal, sons and daughters of Nepal. The fact that you're watching this on YouTube puts you at the top of the pyramid of the Nepali youth. The normal Nepali youth gets up every morning and walks 4-5 hours to get water, or to go and till a field, or sit in the side of the road and break these rocks, or the microbuses, be there Khalasi or the driver there, and do jobs like this throughout. We are the very top of the pyramid, and we complain, "Batti eti gayo haina, pheri pani aena, yo tyo this that and all." We complain because we have all those things. Majority of our brothers and sisters don't have those things, so they don't complain. They never had continuous electricity. They never had water on a tap. They never have healthcare if you get sick, so they don't complain. But they go on with their lives. They go on every day. And when I look at them, and I think, my God, jati मैले पढ्नु पाएँ, जति मेरो एक्सपोजर भयो, whether through internet or travel or whatever it is, र जति मैले अवसरहरू पाएँ, यो सबै भएर पनि मैले केही गर्दिनँ र जति छ आफूलाई मात्रै गर्छु भनेदेखि यो भन्दा ठुलो दुर्भाग्य र पाप के होला त जस्तो लाग्छ मलाई. Therefore, I'm spending time talking to youth, talking to people who I hope will also get this. आफ्नो जिन्दगी त बनाउनै पर्छ. You have to be very successful in whatever you do, whether you become a doctor, an engineer, politician, bureaucrat, banker, doesn't matter. Be very successful. That's the first rule. After that, don't just be successful for yourself. Be successful for your family, for the institution that you're part of, and your society. Once you do that, then I think you're on the right path, and together we can make this nation. But if we don't do that, if all of us just think, let me just do for myself. If you do this show thinking la मैले स्पोन्सर पाउँछु, स्पोन्सर पाएको 20% शोमा लगाउँछु, 80% चाहिँ मैले नै राख्छु अनि यही रिजनले मात्रै म यो शो बनाउँछु भनेदेखि show may do well, show may not do well, but the impact that you want will never be there. It matters. Unfortunately, I think my generation, the generations that came before me, we got lost. But our forefathers didn't. The ones who built Basantapur, Bhaktapur, Lalitpur, Darbar Square, look at them. अमेरिकामा काउबोइज एन्ड इन्डियन्सको त्यो होइन बो एन्ड एरो र सुट आउट हुँदाखेरि हाम्रो फोरफादर्सले पुर्खाहरूले ढुङ्गे धाराबाट घर घरमा पानी ल्याइसकेको थियो भनेदेखि त्यस्तो त्यस्तो महल र दरबार बनाइसकेको थियो. Somewhere along the way we lost our way, but I think your generation is a generation that's going to find the way again. And we are a country that I believe requires 3 to 5 years of good leadership. And if we have that, the whole face of this country will change.
Wow, I think this is a wonderful conclusion for this section of our show. Well, दर्शकबिन हामी कार्यक्रमको अर्को सेक्सन तर्फ आइसकेका छौँ, which is Facebook fan quest. So obviously with your permission मैले चाहिँ 3 दिन अगाडि फेसबुकमा के पोस्ट गरेको थिएँ भन्दाखेरि अनिल शाहलाई केही क्वेसन सोध्न चाहनुहुन्छ भने एउटा चान्स पाउनुभयो, एउटा अपर्च्युनिटी पाउनुभयो भने what would be that question भनेर. And certain people they have throw me a questions.
Okay.
So I want to ask, I want to read out their names as well as their questions.
Sure.
So are you ready for that?
Yes, I'm ready.
Our first question is Mrs. Takal, and his question is, do you have any plans to motivate youth towards rural entrepreneurship and invest in local business that would benefit a rural local community in the field such as energy or cattle farming?
Definitely. I think नेपालको साँच्चै नै विकास गर्ने हो भनेदेखि यो सहरमुखी मात्रै भएर हुँदैन. नेपालको जनसङ्ख्या हेर्नुस्, हाम्रो भूगोल हेर्नुस्, हामी ग्रामीण देश हौँ. तर अनफर्चुनेटली के भयो भने सहर मात्रै होइन, यो सहर काठमाडौँ उपत्यका नै नेपाल. पहिला नेपाल जाने भनेर मान्छेले भन्दाखेरि काठमाडौँ आउनलाई भन्थ्यो भने जस्तै अहिले चाहिँ साँच्चै नै नेपाल भनेकै आई फिल समटाइम्स हामी काठमाडौँ मात्रै विचार गर्छौँ कि भनेर. काठमाडौँमा केही भयो भनेदेखि चाहिँ देशै खत्तम भयो जस्तो लाग्छ, बाहिर केही भयो भनेदेखि चाहिँ केही पनि लाग्दैन. सो आई एम भेरी मच इन्टु माई इन्स्टिट्युसन मेगा ब्याङ्क अल्सो, हलोदेखि हाइड्रोसम्म भनेर. वी आर इन रुरल एरियाज, everything from yak cheese to tomatoes to fish to everything we are financing as well. And I believe, and I always talk, whenever I talk to urban youth also and to semi-urban youth, I keep saying the future is in the rural areas. यहाँ बसेर त्यो जागिर खोज्नु भन्दा, if you seek opportunities in rural Nepal, I think there's so much more that can be done. So I am there to do anything I can to motivate people to go back, पहिला गाउँ फर्क भने जस्तै, to go back to rural areas, but not just go back and roam around and think, यो पनि गर्न सकेन, त्यो पनि भएन. Think about what you want to do. Just like in the city, just going to the village doesn't mean that the future will open up for you. You need to think very, very seriously as to what you want to do. As I said, your happiness formula must pull you towards doing that. A lot of the youth happiness formula pulls them towards Australia, America and the UK. But I don't know how many youth happiness formula will pull them to Rolpa, Dolpa, Rukum and Mahendranagar. But more and more I find youth sort of thinking about it at least. Thinking about opportunities, especially where I see it is not in youth like yourselves who are educated in colleges and all, but youth who went abroad and worked in Israel, worked in other areas in farming, in agriculture, so on and so forth. They are coming back and setting up whatever they learned outside, whether it be how to do drip agriculture or cattle farming or whatever it is that they learned, and they're actually being very successful in doing it. And we are there institutionally, I am there personally as well to promote that, because I truly believe नेपालको विकास गर्ने भनेदेखि हाम्रो ग्रामीण क्षेत्रको विकास नगरिकन यो सहरलाई मात्रै यो काठमाडौँलाई सिङ्गापुर बनायो भने पनि नेपाल विकसित हुँदैन.
We have another question from Lakpap Temba Sherpa. Do you believe in spirituality? Is there any role of spirituality in your success? How?
अब यो यस्तो जब मालै लगाइराखेको छु अनि स्पिरिचुअलिटीमा बिलिभ गर्छु कि गर्दैन भन्नै पर्दैन होला. आई एम अ भेरी रिलिजियस पर्सन, बट आई वान्ट टु मेक इट क्लियर, फर मी रिलिजन इज अ भेरी पर्सनल थिङ. भगवानलाई पूजा मात्रै गरेर केही मन्दिरहरूमा मात्रै गएर मान्छे सक्सेसफुल हुँदैन, खुसी पनि हुँदैन. कतिजनाले आई नो जाँच अगाडि या केही प्रमोसन आउनु अगाडि मन्दिर गएर एकदम होइन यो त्यो गरेर बिचरा कतिवटा कालो बोकाएर रातो भाले चढाएर त्यसो गरेर आई डोन्ट थिङ्क यु विल गेट सक्सेस. What I do believe, my relationship with God is very personal. I believe in God. म जनै लाउँछु, जब गर्छु होइन, यो जबको माला छ, टेन्सन बढी भयो भने त्यहीँ जहाँ भए पनि जब गर्छु. But for me that is not asking for something. म भन्छु नि अमेरिकामा बसेको भए म साइकाट्रिस्टका जान्थेँ होला, नेपालमा बसेको भएर म भगवान कहाँ जान्छु भनेर. So for me, God is somewhere where I go turn when I'm very happy, when I'm very sad, when I have very problems, when I want to share joys and successes. But it's a relationship that is very personal. I do not believe I have the right to tell anybody that they need to be religious, they need to go to temples, that they need to go to all sorts of whatever, mosques or monasteries or wherever else. But I believe that I should also not have the right to stop anybody who wants to go there. So for me, I am a very spiritual person. I believe पसिना बगाउनुपर्छ, बुद्धि चलाउनुपर्छ, तर त्यो गर्दा गर्दै भगवान आफ्नो साइडमा छ भनेदेखि बेफाइदा चाहिँ केही पनि हुँदैन. फाइदै होला.
Okay, हाम्रो अर्को क्वेसन छ सुनिल पैसाजीको, and he says whether it be interview or speech, most of the time he focuses on political issues. Does that mean he is trying to inspire youth politically and engage in politics?
I think the state of our nation for the last, 20 years or so, politics has been the main reason why we are where we are today. Politics is like health. Okay, you are healthy today, I am healthy today, so we are doing this interview. We had scheduled it, but God forbid, if I had fallen ill or you had fallen ill, we would not be worried about the interview. We'd have sent one SMS saying, I'm sorry, I'm sick, I cannot come here. We'd be running to the doctor, the compounder, the pharmacist, whatever to get well. Until we get well, we would think of nothing else. All the other priorities would be put aside. I need to get well. यो ज्वरो आइरहेछ, ज्वरो कसरी कम गर्ने, रुगा खोकी लागिरहेछ, यसलाई कसरी कम गर्ने. देशमा चाहिँ राजनीति भनेको त्यो स्वास्थ्य हो देशको. If the country wants to be healthy, we need to have stable politics. If you don't have stable politics, मैले जति राम्रो मेगा ब्याङ्क चलाए पनि, यहाँले जति राम्रो आफ्नो संस्थाहरू चलाउनु भए पनि, जे गर्नु भए पनि, देशको राजनीति ठाउँमा छैन भनेदेखि हामीले जति गर्न सक्छ त्यो सीमित हुन्छ. जुन रफ्तारमा अगाडि बढ्न सक्छ त्यो रफ्तार पनि एकदम कम हुन्छ. त्यो कारणले the reason I talk so much about politics is I feel there's a huge leadership void. Leadership void in politics and other areas, but definitely in politics. And unless some of the best youth go into politics, the politics is not going to get miraculously okay. सबभन्दा राम्रो हाम्रो युवाहरू के गर्न चाहनुहुन्छ? डक्टर, इन्जिनियर, ब्याङ्कर, हैन, बिजनेसम्यान, यो सबै चिज भन्न चाहनुहुन्छ. टिचर, हैन, जे एनजिओ, आइएनजिओ वर्कर, डेभलपमेन्ट वर्कर, अमेरिका, अस्ट्रेलिया, मिडिया पर्सन, एनिथिङ, but not politics. यो सिचुएसनसम्म आइसकेको छ. बुवा मुवाले आफ्नो छोराछोरीलाई विदेश नजाऊ, नेपालमै बस, हैन, यही गर, हामीहरू अब एउटै छोरा दुईटा छोरी जे जति भए पनि विदेश नजाऊ भनेर भनिराख्नुहुन्छ. हुन्छ, यहाँहरू नै जानुहोस् न. आज गएर म ल बुवा मैले विचार गरेँ, म विदेश जाँदिनँ, म यहीँ बस्छु, मैले चाहिँ अब क्लियर माइन्ड गरेँ, अब चाहिँ म राजनीतिमा लाग्छु. पहिले भन्यो भने के भन्नुहुन्छ बुवा मुवाले? आफ्नो टुल बुवाहरू छ, होइन छोरा यसो हामीले विचार गर्दाखेरि भोलि जाउँ परराष्ट्र, एउटा एमआरपी बनाएर जा बरु अस्ट्रेलिया नै, या छोरी जाऊ तिमी अमेरिका नै गएर पढ बर, होइन म राजनीतिमा पर्दैन राजनीति गर्नु. When the best minds don't come into politics, how do you expect politics to get better? In Russia, apparently, when it was communist Russia, the top 3% of the minds, the educational top 3% used to be picked up by the Communist Party and be groomed to be politicians. Then everybody else then became doctors, engineers, yata-uta, ke aru kaam garne ho. But the best people would be picked up by the party to become politicians because they were the ones who had to run the country. In our case, think about it. When we think about political leadership, how have they come? I don't blame them at all. They don't have the education that you have, the exposure that you have, and then you expect overnight for them to run this country. They couldn't run this coffee shop, most probably. They would go bankrupt. And then you expect them to run the country. They're not to blame. In the past, it was we had a monarchy. You were born from a certain womb, you became the leader. But now it is not that. The 601 people who wrote us the Constitution were elected by us. So if you blame the politicians, first of all, blame yourself. Because we are the ones who sort of chose them. So I feel as a banker, if I was even in India or China, I'd be talking only of banking and economics and so on and so forth. But I know, अस्वस्थ छौँ. जबसम्म स्वस्थ हुँदैन, मैले जति ब्याङ्किङको कुरा गरेँ, इकोनोमीको कुरा गरेँ, केही पनि हुँदैन. यो गएको 4 महिना तराईमा यस्तो उथल-पुथल भएर म जति जे गरेर जति मोटिभेट गरे पनि राजनीति ठिक नभए पनि केही पनि हुँदैन. But in the end, I want to tell you one thing. How many healthy people do you know who are doing nothing? स्वस्थ हुँदैमा सक्षम हुन्छ भन्ने त्यो ग्यारेन्टी छैन. स्वस्थ हुने भनेको इज द फाउन्डेसन. Political stability is just the foundation. Doesn't mean the minute we get political stability, country will become developed. But the game starts then. We have to start building this nation together once we get political stability. And that's in the economics, in the social sector, in every other sector. But once and only once we get political stability. And that's why I talk politics a lot.
So we have Sudeep Ghimire. If you were a policymaker, what would be your step to minimize brain drain with existing resources?
The first step I would take is impose, I think, at least life imprisonment for corruption. Because the cancer that is killing this country is corruption. Whether it be to get a job, to get, still anything, there is corruption in almost everything. We are rated internationally as one of the most corrupt countries in the world. Unless we cure corruption, we cannot start. The main thing, like as I said, health. The cancer we have is corruption. त्यो सिटामोल खाएर टाउको दुखिरहेछ ब्रेन ट्युमर छ सिटामोल खाएर चाहिँ ए टाउको दुख्ने कम भयो भने द क्यान्सर इज नट क्योर्ड यो पेन मे बी टेम्पररली क्योर्ड सो द फर्स्ट थिङ इज टु गेट रिड अफ करप्सन एन्ड करप्सन इज वान थिङ अरू सबै जराबाट ठुलो हुन्छ यो रुखदेखि लिएर सबै चिज करप्सन भनेको चाहिँ टाउकोबाट रोक्नुपर्छ जरा मात्रै गएर बटम लेयर नन करप्ट भएर माथि करप्ट छ भने त्यो हुँदैन सो द फर्स्ट थिङ इज करप्सन द सेकेन्ड इज आई वुड पुट अ फिलोसफी इन प्लेस just like one of the SAARC countries has something called a gross national happiness index, I would say we would need a philosophy hamro haina ramro lai प्राथमिकता because we have become so पहिला चाहिँ जातले हुन्थ्यो होला धर्मले हुन्थ्यो होला भने अब अहिले चाहिँ एथनिसिटी र पोलिटिकल आइडियोलोजीले हुन्छ हाम्रो कुनै पनि पोस्ट खाली भयो भनेदेखि हाम्रो मान्छे को छ भनेर खोजिहाल्छ पोलिटिकल पार्टीले होस् या कोहीले पनि होस् राम्रो मान्छे को छ भनेर कोहीले पनि खोज्दैन यो हाम्रो हो यसलाई चाहिँ के गर्नुपर्छ है अनि राम्रोलाई के गर्ने राम्रोलाई कसले गर्ने द नर्मल नेपाली नन पार्टी कार्ड होल्डिङ मान्छेको हित कसले हेर्ने त when the political leadership and the political parties are only looking after the so-called interests of their हाम्रो अनि राम्रो मान्छे त अस्ट्रेलिया अमेरिका र युके नगए कहाँ जान्छ त राम्रो मान्छेले त अवसरै पाउँदैन या त कसैको हाम्रो हुनु पर्यो हाम्रो भएपछि मात्रै अवसर पाउने भनेदेखि त हाम्रो नहुने म किन हाम्रो हुने मेरो क्षमता छ पढेको छु होइन सेकेन्ड कहिले पनि आएको छैन म जान्छु अमेरिका गएर एकदम सक्षम हुन्छु अनि ठुल्ठुलो घर किन्छु मोटर किन्छु आनन्दले बस्छु भनेर हिँडी राखेको छौँ लाखौँ लाख नेपाली युवाहरू बुद्धि चलाउने मात्र होइन अलि सक्षम पसिना बगाउन सक्ने युवाले पनि के गरिरहेछ कटारमा गएर वर्ल्ड कपको स्टेडियम बनाइरहेछ भनेदेखि दुबईमा संसारको सबभन्दा ठुलो बिल्डिङ बनाइरहेछ हाम्रो यहाँ बाटो बनाउने मान्छे कोही छैन सो यो दुईटा चिज गऱ्यो भनेदेखि चाहिँ आई थिङ्क वी क्यान रियली कन्भर्ट एन्ड चेन्ज दिस कन्ट्री बट अनलेस वी डु दिज टु थिङ्स यहाँ आएर यसो लिप सर्भिस दिएको मात्रै हुन्छ
हाम्रो अर्को क्वेसन छ कृपा छेत्रीजीको एन्ड सी सेज Do you ever in your student life come up with a situation where one would be stuck to make a choice between continuing the personal interested career or whether to pursue a totally different career just because it has a great opportunity for later future? How would you motivate students like me who are facing this dual conflict?
I think not only in student life, throughout life, your dual conflicts are airance. Just like you called me for the interview, the question is, do I come for this interview or do I do an internal meeting? Or do I do something else? There is conflict everywhere. मैले भने समय 24 घण्टा छ गर्नुपर्ने चिज गर्नु सक्ने चिज थुप्रै छन् So I think again, I keep saying the same thing again and again because that's the truth that I believe in. You need to look inside yourself. You need to look inside yourself and see के गर्यो भने म खुसी हुन्छु त जे गरिरहेको छु त्यही बाटोमा हिँडिराखेँ भने म खुसी हुन्छु कि त्यो बाटोलाई छोडेर अर्को बाटोमा जाँदाखेरि गाह्रो भए पनि अन्तिममा गएर म बढी खुसी हुन्छु त If you decide, you're on a bus, you're going somewhere and you decide, I don't want to go there, continuing on that bus ride will not make you happy. You need to get off that bus, get to the bus of the destination you want to get onto. It may be more difficult to do that. You may have to go back and start again. But in the long run, you'll be happier doing that. And I would suggest, really, one of my teachers, professors has told me, the hardest thing for us to do is when we realize we are making a mistake, to stop making the mistake, turn around and do it the right way. For many reasons. It may sound so simple and stupid, but think about it. When you know you're on the wrong path, when you know you keep doing it. It takes a long time. Make it a habit to stop immediately and say, if you have to say sorry, say I'm sorry. But then start doing it the right way. So I would say look inside you, follow what makes you happy. If you don't do that, even if it's easier to do whatever you're doing right now, if you feel more people are saying, yes, you must do this and all, but if it doesn't make you happy, you need to change.
So we have the final question from Ramesh Pokhrelji. The brand value of Mega Bank is comparatively lower than the brand value of Anil Shah. Is it so?
I think we must remember Mega Bank is running in its 6th year. Anil Shah has been doing banking for 25 years. The role of a CEO and an institution is very similar to that of parents and a child. When you are born, when you are growing up, in your case as well, the first question people will ask you, "Bia Bartaman is social gatherings number there, and kosko chori, kosko chora ba?" That's the first question they'll ask you, because then they will relate who you are. My bank is a young bank. My senior managers, their CEO, is one of the reasons why people have confidence. ए यो राम्रो हो मेरो बिल्डिङ हेरेर हैन मेरो कम्प्युटर हेरेर मान्छे हेरेर मान्छेले पनि अहिले 22-25 अरब रुपैयाँ सर्वसाधारण जनताले मेगा ब्याङ्कमा हालिसकेको छ किन अनिल शाह छ राम्रो टिम छ राम्रो बोर्ड छ त्यही भएर यो ब्याङ्कले राम्रो गर्छ हाम्रो पैसा लिएर भाग्दैनन् यिनीहरू राम्रै लगानी गर्छ भनेर सो एट दिस पोइन्ट अफ टाइम इट इज क्रिटिकल दैट यू हैव अ CEO and a senior management team whose brand value is very good and at many a times maybe even better than the institution. But as the institution grows, if the CEO is right, like the bank I was with before, Nabil Bank, when I left Nabil Bank after 6 years and the team had made it #1 and all, Nabil Bank continued to do as well, if not better. That to me personally, मापदण्ड हेर्ने हो भनेदेखि राम्रो CEO थियो कि थिएन अनिल तिमी नाबिलमा भन्दाखेरि that shows that I was a राम्रो CEO. Not that यो छोडेर पनि राम्रो ब्याङ्कै राम्रो गर्यो ब्याङ्क यस्तो इन्स्टिट्युसन बनाइयो कि मैले छोडिसकेपछि पनि त्यो ब्याङ्कले जति राम्रो गरिरहेको थियो त्योभन्दा पनि राम्रो गर्यो किनभने टिममा त्यो कन्फिडेन्स थियो मार्केटमा त्यो कन्फिडेन्स थियो जस्तै आज मेरो उहाँ कहीँ सरी भयो भनेदेखि मान्छेहरूले उहाँ बिन्देश्वरी शाह हु इज द फर्स्ट नेपाली वुमेन टु स्टडी इन अमेरिका हु इज द फर्स्ट नेपाली वुमेन एम्बेसडर बट दे स्टिल से अनिल शाहको मुवा and my mother feels so proud when people introduce her that way. So that day too will come when Mega Bank will be much larger if I am successful than my brand value. And then there will be a day when I will be going beside that, God willing, long life and all, with maybe my grandchildren, and I will say, one day, to bank sani ba, पहिलो CEO म हुने, and they will say, बाजे होला, यत्रो ब्याङ्कको CEO, पहिलो CEO चाहिँ अनिल शाह नै होला नि भनेर. Then I will know I have been successful, that the brand has become so big that people don't no longer need Anil Shah's name to be associated with it.
Wow. So with this, we have concluded the Facebook fan quiz round. We have the last and final section of this show, which is rapid fire. If you are not a banker, you would be?
Photographer.
Wow. Your greatest fear?
My greatest fear, having to sing. I'm a terrible singer. So when people, I'm free Nepali किन हो पार्टी हेर्नु मलाई गीत गाइदिनुस् भन्छ म भागिहाल्छु त्यहाँबाट चाहिँ गीत गाउनु पर्यो भनेदेखि चाहिँ that is my greatest fear, having to sing.
What demotivates you or makes you frustrated on your work?
Politics, office politics, when people pay politics rather than working, when people pull each other's legs. If I want to say why I should be given an opportunity, I will not say what my skills and strengths are, I will say what your weaknesses are. How does that help in when I मेरो दृष्टिकोणमा त अब उहाँको चाहिँ हैन उहाँले यो गर्न सक्नु हुँदैन उहाँ यसमा नराम्रो छ भने ठिकै छ त्यो सबै चिज छोडिदिनुहोस् तपाईँ के गर्न सक्नुहुन्छ भन्नुहोस् न र त्यो पोलिटिक्स खेल्ने काम गर्ने भन्दा चाप्लुसी गर्ने all this sort of thing really demotivates me because I've seen with the exposure I've had संस्था बनाउने हो या देश बनाउने हो यसरी गरेर हामी अगाडि बढ्न सक्दैनौँ साच्चै नै अगाडि बढ्ने हो भनेदेखि चाहिँ काम गर्नुपर्छ आफूले काम गर्नुपर्छ आफ्नो सिप जेमा छ त्यसमा लागेर काम गर्नुपर्छ पसिना बगाउनुपर्छ बुद्धि चलाउनुपर्छ र यो पोलिटिक्स खेल्दाखेरि चाहिँ I get really demotivated.
हजुरको यस्तो एउटा सिक्रेट जुन पब्लिकमा अहिलेसम्म छैन
पब्लिकमा अहिलेसम्म छैन लुक एभ्रीबडी नोज एभ्रिथिङ अबाउट मी मेरो चस्मादेखि लिएर मेरो अब यो जुङ्गा किन पालेदेखि लिएर एभ्रिथिङ एभ्रीबडी नोज आई थिङ्क सो कहिले पनि के थाहा पाउने चाहिँ आई डोन्ट नो हरेक बिहान उठेर चाहिँ म एकदम जनै हातमा सपाएर समातेर गायत्री मन्त्र गरेर पूजा गर्छु भन्ने चाहिँ थाहा छैन होला द्याट्स व्हाट आई डु एभ्री मर्निङ
सर बिफोर आस्किङ माई अनदर क्वेसन आई वान्ट टु आस्क यु हाम्रो पहिला राजा महाराजाहरूको पनि यस्तै स्टाइलको मुस्टाच हुन्थ्यो इज देयर सम कनेक्सन बिट्विन रोयल कनेक्सन केही छ कि
I'm glad you asked this question किनभने यो जुङ्गा पाल्न लगाएपछि धेरै मान्छेले मलाई सोधिरहेछ कि यो कुनै हिन्दी मुभीमा एउटा हिन्दी मुभी स्टारले यस्तो जुङ्गा पालेको भएर चाहिँ दाइले पनि यस्तो जुङ्गा पालेको हो कि म चाहिँ भन्छु हेर हामी जहिले पनि भन्छौँ मित्र राष्ट्र छिमेकी राष्ट्रबाट प्रभाव बढी हुनु हुँदैन भनेर एउटा अरू मान्छे पनि थियो जसले यस्तो जुङ्गा पाल्थ्यो उसको नाम भनेको चाहिँ पृथ्वीनारायण शाह थियो र आज म नेपाली छु म नेपाली हुनुमा गर्व छु किनभने नेपाल छ र नेपाल किन छ भने उहाँले गरेर एउटा सानो राज्यबाट चाहिँ एउटा ठुलो नेपाल बनाऊ भनेर उहाँ लाग्नु भएर नेपाल भएको भएर हो र अहिले नेपालको सन्दर्भमा हेर्दाखेरि कोही चाहिँ जातले होस् कोहीले चाहिँ वर्गले होस् कोही चाहिँ जेसुकैले होस् टुक्रिने एकदम होइन को यो चाहियो त्यो चाहियो यो भनिरहेको बेलामा म चाहिँ सबभन्दा ठुलो गर्व नेपाली हुनेमा गर्छु। त्यही भएर जुङ्गा पालेर हरेक बिहान कमसेकम या कहिलेकाहीँ यसो झलक्क आफूले ऐनामा हेर्दाखेरि पनि के सम्झ है, जे भए पनि जेसरी हुनसक्छ यो नेपाललाई चाहिँ एउटा राष्ट्र, अब त अखण्ड नेपाल भन्दाखेरि पनि त्यो पनि एउटा नेगेटिभ उसमा लिनु लागिसकेको छ मान्छेले। तर म त भन्छु आई एम प्राउडेस्ट टु बी नेपाली एन्ड आई विल अलवेज बी प्राउडेस्ट टु बी नेपाली एन्ड आई एम अलवेज प्राउडेस्ट अफ द फ्याक्ट द्याट देयर वाज वन जेन्टलम्यान, पृथ्वीनारायण शाह, हु had the courage and the fortitude to make this nation so that we can all call ourselves Nepali instead of calling something else. And just to remind myself of that, until there's stability in our country, where all Nepalese feel I'm proud to be Nepali, you say not to impact anyone else, but to remind myself that kehi ta garnu paryo hai Nepali bani raख्नलाई।
Now I guess everyone knows the reason behind the style of moustache Mr. Anil Shah has. Well, now my final question is, मपाई गरेको होइन मैले आफूले आफूलाई, your first impression when you saw me?
I thought confident. You know why? Because the way you persisted in getting me here, the way you came across when we first met, it's again, you found your happiness formula. I can see that. You're doing something not because you have to do it or because you have nothing else to do, but you're doing this because this is what you're passionate about. And that's what brings confidence about. When you know that this is what you're meant to do, you love doing it, and no matter who sits in this chair, you know you can do a great job. That's what I find when I look at you.
Thank you so much, sir. Well, with this, we are at the end of today's Ramailo Guff. Sir, मैले केही सोध्न छुटाएको, or you have to give any messages to our viewers? केही भन्न चाहनुहुन्छ हाम्रो viewers-हरुलाई?
I think I've said everything. You've covered everything so eloquently and well. Thank you so much for having me here.
Wow, thank you so much, sir. Sir, हाम्रो entire team as well as our sponsors have small token of love for you.
Oh, wow.
And I want to give this to you.
Thank you so much. There we go.
And thank you for your valuable time you have given to us. My entire team wishes you all the very best for your upcoming days ahead.
Thank you so much. Namaste.
Jai Desh, Jai Nepal.